guest again this morning. We're blessed to have Dr. Judy Wilyman come up and share a few treasured pieces of information.
Hi everyone, and it's great to see you all here, standing here for truth and integrity in our institutions, which is what we hope to restore here in WA and across Australia. So that's the importance of coming whenever you can. And not simply that. We are visible when we do this, and that's what the government has worked hard to hide. They've hidden all the opposition to our right to the international human rights covenants that Australia has ratified, and medical and ethical principles. And on that note, doctors now are no longer practicing medicine. Okay, now I truly, just to perhaps the best case study that I could direct you to, that you could show everybody in your family and in your friend network, is the latest video that Scorpion Video has just put out. It's on Bram's situation. All right, now the misconduct and the interference of government in the ability of doctors to do their job now. This is a tragedy, so you have to inform your doctors, get them to speak up and use the very comprehensive documents that the COVID Medical Network, which is our medical doctors in Australia speaking up, they've got documents that you can take to your own doctor and get them to talk about informed consent and medical ethics and principles, because they are currently killing and harming people with this, what they're calling medicine, when in fact it is the government interfering with medical regulation. And the very fact that the health department is actually recommending medical interventions to you is a crime against humanity. Politicians do not have medical qualifications. You are not required to accept any advice from the health department or any politician, and this is where you need to stand up for yourself and for your family's health and well-being. And it is the side effects of these injections that are being hidden by a corrupt media. Until we get some ethics in journalism, we will not win this situation either. So we need to promote all the alternative media outlets to inform people of the serious adverse events and deaths that are happening every day to these injections that the mainstream media is calling COVID-19 disease. This is the crime that's being committed, and we are here every morning. Please turn up and tell your family and friends, all the jabbed people that are now recognising that they've been duped, and they should feel cheated by now.
They're joining us too.
Everybody is here uniting, the jabbed and the unjabbed. This is the Australia we want, one with integrity and honesty in our institutions. So just to finish off, to let you know why we will win, because everybody needs that inspiration at this point in time, because it looks unachievable. It always seems impossible until it is done. That's Nelson Mandela. But remember these two things. If you lose the truth, you lose freedom. Yes. And that's why we're waking up unmotivated, not wanting to do anything or participate in life, and many people are taking their lives. We have already lost the truth. The Health Department and Mark McGowan and Scott Morrison are all presenting lies and false information on health to the public, and the doctors are staying silent because their medical board is gagged by the government, as, by the way, is our judicial board. So we are going to the courts shortly to see if our WA courts are corrupt. We will be watching avidly. We put the spotlight on the court because the outcome of this case is critical to what happens next in WA to the health and well-being of every citizen in this state. And so lastly, I just want to say to you that without bodily autonomy, you also have no freedom. That is your quality of life. So congratulations to all of you for standing up with that strength and letting go of the financial system and the lies and corruptions that the government has provided to you to coerce you into a medical intervention which is killing hundreds of thousands of people globally, and millions are being harmed around the world, as stated by the government regulators. So well done, everybody. We are building the community that we want, and all of your jobs and skills will be required, and we are going to knock this government down very soon. Thank you.
This man cares so much about this fight. He gave up the job he loves as a WA police officer so that he could step out and speak in this fight. Jordan Mack.
Thanks, mate. I wasn't actually intending to talk this morning, but to you guys and to Lee for this movement that's growing, this truly is grassroots, and that's what I think is going to change what's going on, is pure grassroots movement. So give it up for yourself and everyone else that comes here every day. I remember a saying that we used to give people when I was working for the police. Whenever people would complain about their neighbours who were Homes West, like lived in Homes West housing, or any complaint really, it didn't matter what it was, we used to use the analogy of be the squeaky wheel when you make your complaints. So when you ring up Homes West to make that complaint, or when you ring whatever government agency or whatever service it was that you wanted help with, it was be the squeaky wheel, because it's only the squeaky wheel that ever gets the attention, that ever gets fixed. And what they rely on, and I've said this before at protests, when it comes to protesting, a genuine tactic that they rely on is that people will say their piece, they will fatigue, they will be satisfied that they've got the weight off their chest, what they needed to do, they'll go home, and that's the end of it. But that's not how we're going to change this. This is going to be that grassroots squeaky wheel, and that's why when people say, they'll come up to me and they'll message me on Facebook or ring me or whatever, and they say, oh, I'm thinking of doing this tactic or this strategy, what do you think about that? And my answer is always, it doesn't matter what it is, just so many different angles. We're doing something in the courts, but that shouldn't be the only angle, and it's not the only angle. We need to put constant pressure on them and be thousands of squeaky wheels in every single direction, and I genuinely optimistically think that we're going to win this, and of course we're going to anyway, because the truth always wins. But that's just a little bit of motivation to also keep doing what you're doing, because maybe the writs won't be issued, but to think that this isn't putting some form of pressure on. I mean, the governor went from doing his walks to now he has to take the car. That's pressure. The numbers that we get here, especially on protest days, I mean, how could you not? In my honest opinion, I would doubt on protest days that he's even in that building because of safety concerns. To think that isn't having an impact. So keep doing what you're doing. Doesn't matter what avenue it is, keep it up. Now, just quickly, as for the court thing, as someone that is intimately involved with it, I just want to say a massive thank you for those that do come and support us. Not only is it reassuring to the guys that are directly involved, the guys and girls that are directly involved, and shows that they have the support both internally and externally, but again, it's that pressure, it's that visual cue. And for those that were in the gallery at the last directions hearing that went for like 20 minutes or whatever it was, the Justice Allenson made a point of acknowledging us in the gallery because it was completely packed, and he said, he basically apologised and said, sorry, as you can see, a directions hearing, it's just boring, nothing happens. Well, in my opinion, the message that we're sending to him is it doesn't matter how boring it is, it doesn't matter how insignificant it is, it doesn't matter, because we are all affected and we will show up and we will hold you accountable. So thank you. Keep supporting us where you can. We understand everyone's got their own stuff going on, But if you can support us, obviously all the other industries are about to sign on. It's definitely happening. It's been said for a long time, but it is happening. So yeah, thanks guys. Keep it up.
Thanks so much for that. I'd like to revert to an old footy analogy. You go hard, you get knocked down 10 times, you get up 11. Keep turning up here in numbers. Bring friends. This here is our Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall was brought down by people turning up in peace for weeks on end in great numbers. That brought down the power of the USSR. We've just got the Governor of Western Australia here. I would think that it's a much bigger mountain bringing down the power of the USSR. This can be done. You need to take that internally and believe it and stand in your power. I invite you to make a single file along the front wall, the Berlin Wall of Perth. Those that, if this spaces are all taken, we'll make 2 or 3 lines here. I'm going to play the last post, and I invite you all, while that's playing and in the silence after, to consider those diggers who fought and died for our freedoms that have been taken off us every day at this time. And think about those West Australians that have been harmed physically, economically and psychologically by these overreaching mandates. The West Australians who got the jab against their will, to keep, they're immunised against unemployment, immunised against bankruptcy by a government that supposedly cares for its people. And just quickly while I think of it, letting international students is not about health, it's about that. The cash cow. Compliance and cash cow. Let's do it.